2 and...
All right. Hey, folks, welcome back to your Frederick Real Estate Update. I am Darren Ahern with RE/MAX Results, bringing you nearly 20 years experience in the Maryland and PA area, helping all of our awesome buyers and sellers out there. Hope you're having a great weekend. And I also have the wingman, the man with all the money from Presidential Bank Mortgage that can make any mortgage happen, I believe, with the right information, Mr.
Terry Kernan.
Is that true? You can make any mortgage happen out there?
I can make any mortgage happen. Absolutely. As long as I qualify.
That's the big thing. Qualification. What does it take today to qualify?
Creative financing is coming back.
It's coming back with a creative. We hear that word and we think of negative amortization loans and all kinds of other fun stuff from way back in the crash days. But we're not going to have that, thank God. I don't think we're going to have no mortgage meltdown, but we're running smarter today than ever, right, Terry? So talk about it. What's going on in your world? Give us an update.
So what's going on in my world business-wise is, got great news, is Presidential Bank, who owns Presidential Bank Mortgage, our parent company, after many years of discussing it with them, and they were going to do it before the pandemic, but we all know what happened then. But we are opening a branch next week.
No way. Brick and mortar branch?
14 West Patrick Street.
Wow.
Yes, you can come in. It's going to be great. But we will have a Presidential Bank branch in downtown Frederick, just off the square corner at 14 West Patrick Street. And it's huge for us. We're bringing a more commercial presence. We're bringing we've started a car loan division.
Oh, wow.
So we were dealing with local car dealerships. So there's a lot going on at Presidential that's very, very positive, but the biggest thing is that we opened an actual branch up here in Frederick, which is huge for us. And they did it because we've done so well over the last 23 years building the brand.
Wow, yeah.
You know, I've been at Presidential 23 years.
Wow.
You know, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
My daughter was celebrating her second birthday, and she just turned 25.
She's in diapers, and she's married at 25, and... Yeah, I know you and your team and all the people you got have just absolutely torn it up to be able to bring an amazing level of customer service to people and great products. And I'll tell you, I've always had happy people getting loans with you guys, and just the type of care that everybody takes over there to be able to educate, have the heart of a teacher, to make sure people feel comfortable and being very competitive within the market. So that is awesome. I can't wait for whatever's going to be the big first party over there. And,
yes, we're going to have an open house. We're going to have a ribbon cutting. But, you know, we're looking to turn our customers into the bank's customers, you know, or mortgage customers. We're also looking for businesses and new customers. So we're very excited about the bank branch. Very pumped about it, and look forward to it.
Yeah, may have to open up a bank account. We got to sell some more homes, though.
Yes, sir.
All right, what's happening? That's big news. And then in the loan applications and first-time buyers and what kind of loan programs and all those things like that, what other news is happening in the financial world and interest rates and all that?
So interest rates are going up a little bit. They've gone up over the last couple of weeks. Usually they come down at this time of year, but we see demand is getting a little bit lower, less applications, but we're going to talk a little bit about supply. One of the things, big news at Presidential Bank Mortgage is that we gave out $500,000
wow.
worth of Federal Home Loan Bank grants
to
Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And that's since January 16th, okay?
Wow.
So we were fighting feverishly to get the last of the money because we were running out of money. We got our account down to 12 cents, okay?
Huh.
And so we had no more grant money. And these are grants that are anywhere from $7,500 to $10,000.
Yeah.
So we, as you can tell, we've given a lot of them out. Our branch does a lion's share of the grants for the bank. But so we lost the grant, and I had two borrowers that lost out. One is $7,500. One was a nurse. She would have gotten $10,000, and we were just tripping over ourselves to get it and trying to race for the money, and boom, it disappeared.
Yeah.
And it was very heartbreaking. And then 3 days later, Federal Home Loan Bank of Atlanta said, you know what? We're going to give you guys another $500,000 because you did such a great job. So we are back in business
for grants
with another $500,000 in grants. So first-time home buyers, veterans. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer, veteran. It's a great grant. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Now, what's going on in the mortgage market is applications are down, but also there's an increase. Each week we're getting an increase in applications that are FHA and VA, okay? So we're seeing that shift in the market. What's happening, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. You and I are going to talk about that, but what I want to talk about is there's a little bit of tension in the market right now. And the tension is between the mortgage investors, I believe, and the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And basically what we're seeing is we're starting to see data that shows that inflation is starting to get pushed back on. And what Chairman Powell says is, I'm going to continue to raise rates until we get to 2% inflation. We're going to push that rate down. So he's going to continue to raise rates, and the future hikes might only be 0.25%, because the last two have been 0.75%.
Yeah, too much.
But he's going to continue to raise rates. The tension is a lot of people that buy mortgages and buy, and myself included, is I'm worried about pushing it too far, and then it's going to flip us into that recession. Now, we did have the GDP revised, so it's a 0.6, so it's almost even. So that's good news.
Yeah.
That we're not going into a recession, possibly, but we'll know more. But basically, what we're taking a look at is, and I'm not going to go in, but we're starting to see signs that inflation is beginning to cool, but it will still keep the Fed lowering rates, and it is all going to be data driven. So keep an eye. We'll keep you up on the data, but we are going to have a rate hike, it looks like, in September. We just don't know what it is at yet. They're thinking 0.5% right now, but the data driven may drop it down to 0.25%. But I think we're going to see our interest rates continually increase a little bit and then level out. And right now we're running at, the 5.5, 5.625, 5.75 range. So we're still under 6%. So everything is good.
All right, there you go. That's cool. Yep, all of our buyers out there, guys, give Terry a call with this grant money that's available. I'll tell you what, 90% or more pretty much qualify for the most part, that I've worked with, and getting at least something or finding something out there available, whether it's through that or it's the county programs or city and all those other things, or state. There's tons of it.
Tons of it out there.
So if you don't have a lender that is seeking out grants that you could qualify for, you may want to think twice about who you're working with, because that is a really big deal to be able to help out and stuff like that. So it's good stuff. So, all right, Terry, let's get into it. I'm going to skip over my big transition with sellers and what they need to do to pay attention to. We're going to do that next week maybe with the transition from selling to buying, because that is a really big questionable thing of how does that really work. And so we're going to continue to help people, because that is a big trend that we're seeing right now. But I want to take us back real quick, Terry, to life back on May 1st, 2022. Not too long ago.
Wow.
Do you remember how life was on May 1st?
I do. It's changed a lot.
All right, let's look at it.
So May 1st of 2022. So
this year, not last year.
May, June, July, 90 days plus 20. So we're talking 110 days ago compared to today.
Just when the summer was getting ready to kick off and Labor Day or Memorial Day was on the way and all that. Right before all that kind of stuff. What did life look like? And this is how fast life can change. And 110 or so days ago, active homes on the market for sale total was 281. But we were just a little over 100 on the resale land. Okay. Today, it's how many?
445.
So, we have seen inventory go up almost double. Okay, and most of that is in the resale market, because I just looked, the new construction was up at 170, and it always stays between that 150 and 170, which means it's predominantly the resale side you're on, or is what we have pretty much seen with that. So, but we're still not breaking 500 like I thought, and a balanced market where it's no longer, I just had a seller yesterday asking me, hey Darren, how much inventory do we have to have before it turns into a buyer's market? We get that a lot. With as many population and homes that have been constructed over time, about 12 to 1,300 homes on the market is now a balanced market in Frederick County. Okay, So, and if you take out the 170 brand new builds that are being proposed for spec homes and such like that, you know, we basically need to get about 11 to 1,200 resale homes to get to that point, okay? And that really, at that point, in my opinion, becomes really, it's a buyer's market. It's not balanced. It's like a buyer's market because of where we've endured and where we live so long with almost no inventory. So that's what's, I think, going to make it so much of a different feel. So coming soon, back on May 1st, there were 96. Remember, we were talking about, we got to break 100. We got to break 100. We got to stay above 100. Right now, today, we're at 38.
Okay.
Most of it is seasonal, and most of it is because sellers are no longer willing to have their home in a coming soon status at all. They want to be on the market tomorrow because they know things are changing tomorrow.
They're trying to cross that bridge before it falls.
That's it, exactly. So coming soons, that's why those numbers are like that.
Explainable, yep.
Yeah, so those are the two factors about that. Under contract, under contract, pending. These are homes that are under contract with an offer. 1,113 on May 1st.
That's a lot.
Today, how many, Terry?
751.
All right.
So that's a huge decrease.
Yeah, so we have 750 homes right now under contract. Not bad.
And that's the reason people are, in my belief, skipping the coming soon.
Absolutely. This is the big one, the days on the market. How long was the average home on the market before they got an offer? Back on May 1st, it was 7 days. That was the lowest we ever saw. 7 days. I mean, we had people saying, the home was on the market one day and they had 30 offers and the seller accepted something. Yeah, maybe in some cases, but you had some high-end stuff that was taken 2-3 weeks that balances out that number. But 7, that's insane, guys. Let's be honest. The average across the board is typically about 60 days. Mm-hmm. Right now, today, Terry, how much is the average days in the market?
36 days.
36 days, and we're climbing.
5 times.
5 times more time on the market.
And each week it climbs by a day or 2.
Yeah, about 2 days a week. Yeah,
2
so
days
at that point, we're going up 8 to 10 days average in a month is what we're seeing. So when we get back to that average time at 50 or 60 days in the market, we'll see when that happens, if that happens at all.
This next number is pretty big.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. What's that one called? The
list to sell ratio. Now, what this means is that whatever the list price is and whatever the sales price is, that's the ratio. If it's above 100, then people are getting more for their property. Obviously, if it's less than 100, so...
Yep, then the asking.
You tell them what it was made for.
104.2. That is the highest we've seen. Yep, 104.2%. Now, some people say, wait a minute, that's only 4.2% higher than the asking price. And that doesn't sound like a lot. Let's take the average $500,000 home. What's 4% of a $500,000?
$20,000.
That means the average seller was getting $20,000 more than the list the more than they were asking. Well, they made a mistake. They were pricing their homes way too low. Not really. Most sellers were already aggressively being $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 above the last neighbor that just sold. And on top of it, are getting another $10,000 or $20,000 in an offer. Which, remember, we have the days of people saying they were getting $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Buyers were offering above the asking price. That's that number. Today, what's the number now?
98.1%.
98.1, which means we're still seeing some multiple offers. We're still seeing people getting above their asking price. But we're actually seeing the mass majority, either two things happening. They're either correcting their value by reducing their value. Okay, we're going to talk about that coming up. They're reducing their value because they've been on the market and they're not getting an offer. Or buyers are just coming in and they're just offering less. Mm-hmm. Those are the two reasons that dictate that 98.1%. Now, I'm not panicked by that number. I will be when it gets below 95%.
Okay.
If that number drops below 95%,
okay,
we're really in a buyer's market at that point, to be honest with you.
Okay.
100% above is a seller's market, or 99, and then 95 and less is really a buyer's market for the most part. It's heading that way quickly. So, interesting. Seller price reductions. This is the thing that sellers, man, they'll fight you. Woo, they fight us. I'm not coming down to my price. Well, then why is it not selling?
So just to make sure everybody understands, this is if I list my house at $500,000 and it's not selling, and you come to me and say, hey, we better
get to $490.
We better drop to $490. That's a seller price reduction. So the numbers we're going to give is how many sellers reduced their price, not how much they reduced it.
Right, not by how much. Right, very good. How many sellers were needing to make I call it a reposition price adjustment to get more competitive in the market. You know, as some people say, price drop or price reductions. Well, it is that, but it's really getting more, you know, it's something you got to do and pay attention to, because if you don't, you're probably going to stay where you're at. The number of that, Terry, in May 1st was only 5% of all sellers were needing to adjust their value.
5%.
Now, somebody might say, well, no, but it's there. It wasn't zero. But if about 5% of sellers were needing to make a price adjustment correction, someone would say, if that was the best time in the entire real estate market that you've really almost ever seen, Darren and Terry, then why would 5% of sellers have to make a reduction? Why? There shouldn't be no need for none of that.
Over-aggressive.
Like really over-aggressive.
In that market, really over-aggressive.
Yeah.
And we're talking like this market was a year ago.
No, this is 110 days.
114 days.
114 days to be exact, boys and girls.
So,
yeah, 5%.
5%. And then now...
This is the scary number. How many now?
Now, 42% of all sellers have reduced the price of their listing.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
42%.
Mm-hmm.
Huge number. Almost 50%.
Yeah, almost half. So 4 out of 10 sellers have already adjusted their value, and most of those have been on the market. The mass majority, probably 90%, they've already been on the market for more than the average days on market for their price point. So if we're talking 38 days, they're getting to like 30 days, 38, 40, 50 days and going, uh-oh, I'm in big trouble, aren't I, Mr. Real Estate Agent? Yeah, you're in big trouble, all right. So 42%, and that number keeps growing very quickly.
So 42% of all sellers have had to lower their
They've already done it. This isn't what's coming. This has already happened, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Most of it, Terry, I've learned, is in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Last 2 to 3 weeks, this has happened. So interest rates, woo, I'm going to let you talk about that world.
So interest rates. If you didn't lock in April for a refinance, you probably knocked yourself out of the market. So on May 1st, rates were running at around under 3%, 2.85, 2.9%. So under 3% for a 30-year fixed rate. Today, we're seeing 5.7% is today's average.
And of course, that's based on credit. People have to understand your credit score and other factors dictate this. This isn't like going to like bankrate.com, Credit Karma, and Rocket Mortgage and all these other crazy sites that give out data like crazy, that people think is like God, if you will. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, that don't make sense. Credit Karma, that's my number. So explain that a little bit, this 5.7. This is like just a nice average, but that entails a lot of data points.
Yes. So 5.7% is basically what the average 30-year fixed rate that people are closing on right now.
Okay.
That's basically it. May 1st, it was exactly half. Okay, so it's doubled. So obviously what we're doing is we're showing that even though people are still buying, even though it's still a good time, the next number we're going to talk about is going to be proof that it's still a good time to buy. But what we're showing is how crazy it really was on May 1st.
Yeah.
And how more normalized it is getting to today. We're still looking at these numbers, and it is still not a normal market.
No.
It's still a seller's market.
This is still a good market.
Still a seller's market.
That's what's nuts.
But these numbers are just showing how crazy May 1st was.
Yeah, and how,
Right? We're not trying to scare people.
No, this isn't scare nobody. We're still
in
good.
the seller's market, but it's amazing, these numbers.
Yep. So, and interest rates also dictated, Terry, people need to understand by what kind of loan you're getting. FHA, VA, USDA, ARM loan, this, that, conventional. So, that's his department. He's going to be able to help you with that big time. Home appreciation. We were crazy tracking. That train was going 200 mile an hour on NASCAR. We were 1% a month on an average, about 12% in our area. Some areas a little higher, some areas a little bit lower, you know. But as a general average, we were tracking at about 1% a month, 12% appreciation a year. The average is 3 to 4, boys and girls.
Yeah, and
That's an average. That's a good average.
That's a good
Hey,
average.
we're 12.
So at 12% a year was May 1st. Now we're averaging a half a percent.
Half percent.
So about 6%
Yeah,
a year. And
that's
that
it.
number's going to go down, and that's going to get more into a normal area. But a
Yeah.
half percent is
Still good.
very, very
That's still
good.
above the average.
Yes.
But I can promise you, I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we'll start doing what are known as time adjustments by like 0.25%. Okay, about maybe between 0.25% and 0.5% is probably going to be the number. Some appraisers would say, yeah, you can use that as a time adjustment. You're okay. That makes sense. That's about the trend of the market. That's about what we can expect and all that. So, but hey, we'll take it. Single family home average price was $511. $511. Remember we broke that 500 average single family home in Frederick County, Mark?
Yep.
That's insane. Montgomery County down where you live is like 750.
Yeah.
But here it's like 511. We got now today 495. We dipped just below that. Now, this takes into account brand new builds.
Okay.
And it also takes into account the resale as well. Okay. This is your average single family home.
Okay. Single family is what we're talking about.
Yep.
So what this number going down, I want to be very clear in my belief that this number is decreasing, not because homes are depreciating.
Exactly.
But if you look at the last number we talked about, interest rates have doubled.
Yep.
So at 5.7%, people have less buying power.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Less buying power, and sellers have already begun to start to reduce prices a little bit. So that's what it is. So, all right.
Keep moving. We got some more.
Yeah, foreclosure. What is that? What's a foreclosure? We haven't said what's a short seller foreclosure in 2.5 years. Well, there were 3 foreclosures in May 1st. There's 22 now.
22 now. Okay.
Now, somebody's going to be like, wait a minute. How could somebody's home go into foreclosure so quick? I thought it takes like 3 months, 6 months. Well, yeah, 6 months or like, what is that? All that is, I call that shadow behind the scene inventory, already in the works, has nothing to do with today. These are homes that started this 6 months ago or more, actually probably more. Okay. These 22, these are just, I don't know, Terry, they're just random banks out there that said, we got to get that off our books. We need to get that out there. And most of these, by the way, Terry, are auctioned. Okay. They're auctioned, they're online. And I just had a buyer that is buying up more and likes, hey, what are the foreclosures doing out there? We're going to have more. We got a ton of them. By the way, we're not going to get a zillion of them. We're just not. Okay. But these are all pretty much online bidding wars. They're bidding them up a little bit still because the banks, they just kind of come out with what they feel and let the market handle it from there. But there's only 22. All right. Average showings on a home. This took a lot of research. This took a lot of research. I was pulling my hair out. Average showings on a home. Terry, how many buyers came through the threshold of a door on May 1st within a matter of 2 or 3 days?
On average, we had 28 people looking at a listing.
Yeah, 28. Call the police.
Today, there's 5.
Yep, that's it. And that's true. I just did an open house and I had 6 come through.
Okay.
I'd have had 20, 30, 40 people come through on May 1st with the same townhouse. But you know what we had? We had 6 people come through. I was happy. I told the seller. In fact, I already told the seller, that's probably, you're going to get, I said to them, you're going to get, if you get between 3, because we had already been on the market for 3 days. And then on Saturday, by the way, Saturdays are a better day than Sunday for open houses, between 12 and 3. And I already said to them, if you get 3 to 6 people, you're good. We got 6.
Wow.
They're happy.
Yeah.
They're happy because they got multiple offers and we got under contract. So
amazing.
That's the more important thing. I don't care. But I went to a broker's open this week, Terry. First time in 2.5 years to go get some free lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, I went and got some free lunch. It was great. Got to catch up with my real estate friends that aren't that crazy busy, to shake hands and be like, hey, how you been? I haven't seen you in 2.5 years. How'd COVID treat you? Yeah, it treated us crappy, right? Are you glad to not have a mask on? Yeah, we're loving it. All right, we just had that happen this week for the first time. And the funny thing is, what happened is the listing agent that's there is an awesome friend. And I said, hey, man, how many showings have you had in the last 29 days? By the way, the house is in Clover Hill. Nice house, rancher, updated, beautiful, half an acre lot. Amazing, right? I said, hey, how many 29 days? You already reduced it 10 grand. How many showings have you had? And he's like, man, we've had like 50 showings. What? You can't make this up. 50? And you don't have an offer. We got some people coming back for a second showing. All right. That's not 28. But 5. So they've been doing good, but they're even struggling to get a little bit of an offer. So I gave my 2 cents in on what I thought it would take. So, all right. 5 is the number. If you listen, sellers, you get 5 showings, you're doing all right. Take it. The average number of offers on a house. Terry, how many offers were we seeing as an average?
Average offers were 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had 5. We had five offers coming in, which meant we had the under appraisal addendums going on, throwing out the home inspection. We're going to do a rent back. We're going to talk more about that. 5 was the average. Today, be glad with 1. Uno, 1. If you get an offer within 14 days on the market, depending on what price point you're in, but let's just say 400 or 500 under. If you get 1 offer within 14 days, take it.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. My neighbor got $1 million 3 months ago.
Okay.
Your neighbor got lucky. Take it. Take it, take it, take it. All right, I think we got less than 1 minute. We're going to do the next one. This is it. We got 1 minute left. Here we go, Terry. Open houses. This is my comment because nobody knows this number. But how many people were attending your open house on May 1st, Mr. Sauer? Ready?
A lot of people.
A lot of people. I mean, a ton of people. Tons. Right now, 3 to 4 is probably a good number. If you get 3 to 4 people right now, back to school time and all this other stuff like that, you're probably doing pretty good. So,
okay. 40 seconds.
Yeah, photos, 3D tours, drones, and all that.
Not needed.
They weren't even needed. We were getting offers with 1 picture, not even no pictures, right? Sight unseen.
Essential.
Now, absolutely essential. Appraisal issues. 20% of all homes were having appraisal issues. Today, 25 to 27% of all sellers are having appraisal issues, and I am dealing with one right now. Last thing we'll get to cover is this loan types. Terry, what were the loan types back then?
Basically, they were conventional or cash.
Yep.
No loan, cash.
And today it's FHA, VA, USDA, and ARM loans. We're going to talk more about those. All right, guys, have an awesome week. Happy buying and selling. Terry and I are always here to keep you in the know. And take care now. We'll see you.
You guys killed it.